So I just wanted to share a couple of mantras which could be used at your will, if you wish to. This is going to be used in the darkness therapy, so I would suggest running them over a few times before you actually enter into the dark, so that maybe you want to write this down or play this again before we go into the dark. So firstly, the most simple mantra that I want to introduce is just Ma Om. This is the one that you would return to like your ground throughout the darkness. So Mara on the in-breath, Om on the out-breath. Ma means unconditional love. It is the sound healing vibration of unconditional love. And you can imagine that that is waking up in every single cell. And then Om is light or truth. And that's, Om is the sound of creation. It is the seed sound of the whole of creation. Everything densifies into matter from there. So you're tuning yourself to that source vibration. And then you're exhaling with that, so the light is emanating out. So it's very much emptying out into the expansiveness. And then the in-breath is drawing in. So it's just Ma Om. And we can do this as we're sitting, as we're lying, as we're stretching, as we're doing yoga, whatever we're doing. We can feel it's like a heartbeat. And you can attune to it that you're hearing the sound healing vibration much like we'd hear the ocean. Like waves coming in and waves coming out. So you're not going to just worry too much about the sound of it, but more like the vibrational feeling as you're doing it inside. You don't need to do it aloud at all. You can just keep it internal. So that's the first one. That can go on. The next one's a little bit more complicated, but they are specific like codes for consciousness. They're like programs that will awaken the third eye. Since we're going to be doing a lot of psychic development work and clearing your whole psychic system, your pineal gland, your pituitary, your brain, your gut brain, your nervous system, your central nervous system, and your etheric field. This whole psychic system is going to go through a transformation. So the mantra is going to help you align to that and actually help clear sight and insight. So we'll see if you can remember this. So I'll just read it. This is from the Thousand Names of the Divine Mother. So this is really ancient. So Sanskrit is the seed sound of all languages. So Om Ajna Chakrabja Nilaye Namaha. Om Ajna, which is the third eye. Chakrabja, which is the chakra. Nilaye, the petaled lotus. So this is calling forth God, Goddess, to awaken as the two petaled lotus in the Ajna chakra. I'd love to draw you a symbol of it. It's just a sort of petal that comes out. Think of the way the shape of a lotus petal is, and it just sits here at the third eye. You might just spontaneously see it anyway, and if not, you could, because we'll be in darkness, visualize an ultraviolet light. And this will be very, very healing, at the least, for your hormonal balance, for your pituitary and your pineal gland. So the mantra again is Om Ajna Chakrabja Nilaye Namaha. 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 So we can do that one a few times in repetition whilst we focus the drishti into the third eye. And just to remind you, the third eye isn't just here on the surface, that's the window. You're dropping deeper into the centre of the brain, that's where it actually is sitting. Actually exactly where the pineal gland is. So the next mantra which we could use towards the end of the darkness retreat is one of transmutation, and it's one that particularly helps the transformation of karma, and it assists you to literally just come back into, traditionally speaking, witness consciousness, into absolute. So Shiva represents that aspect, and the mantra is also very good at dispelling negative energy, and also people will tend to use it when there's been entity attacks or certain negative episodes. It is the fire, so it really cuts off attachment cords as well. So it's Om Namah Shivaya. 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 And what you might find is you tend to make up a tune by yourself and do whatever rhythm you want. It's just clearly Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. We get taught to do this in ashram living, especially with Amma, because you say it before your sentence and you say it at the end, and it just clears any karma or any interaction or negative energy. So think of it one as creating conclusions, like a full stop would be. So if you're making an offering up of something in some kind of way, or some kind of emotion or something that's intense that's going on or shifting through, you could start to use that mantra and it would actually accelerate that shift, and you could feel it, you'd expose it even more, but very quickly you'd start to feel like it's like you're offering it into a real fire. As soon as we won't have a real fire in front of us, that mantra becomes the fire. Think of it like you're making an offering, a puja of your own little egoic self to the fire. That's the way to treat this mantra, and use it as much as you want throughout the darkness retreat, but in particular towards the end would be helpful. But the very last mantra you want to end with is a very deep surrender, integrating mantra, would be Ma Om. And then the concluding prayers that you would come into, which I'll just chant now, and some of you might be familiar with this. So if you're listening to it now, you could also chant it at the same time. Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya. Om Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.